melody, soaring out in positive energy.
Hello there. I'm Kios, the Ronin Beatmaker, and welcome to the Monday Mindset. And on this episode, we're going to discuss understanding our domestication and attachments, Part 2. When your mirror is clear, you can see the divinity in everyone. You can go to any church, synagogue, temple, mosque, or drum circle and find and feel the love and grace of God. For those who are lost in the fog, God just happens to be the focus of devotion that the religion is centered on. In other words, the beliefs and rituals of the religion are more important than experiencing God in the present moment. This is the power of unhealthy attachment. Don Miguel. The more harmful attachments we hold are the unseen ones. And by this, I mean our attachments to our own ideas, opinions, and beliefs. Don Miguel. Our attachments can be some of our greatest guides and resources for the very enemy that seems to see to our demise and end. You become the corrupted, decrepit, gaunt, and crawling on your knees, clamoring for your precious attachments. Such ideas, opinions, and beliefs that are absorbed deep into our unconscious can corrupt the very fabric of our being, especially when we make said attachments our identity. They are attachments that are just as poisonous as arsenic, ideas as deadly as fentanyl, overdosing the mind and body into a state of a comatose hive mind, opinions as radioactive as polonium, causing harm to one's ability to speak, to be heard, and to be spoken to, causing one to die by their own words. Beliefs as destructive as a belladonna. To feast upon such berries of belief is to believe yourself a king or queen, only to fall upon the very sword that radicalized you to believe. There is no safe haven when you eat your own. To believe the machinations of witches is to believe in the devil's tongue. We live in an era of the hive mentality, where our attachments have become viral hits, prostitution rings, cancel culture, and war, and what it means to be human. They don't want you to have your own strengths and thoughts. They don't want you to have your own body. They don't want you to have your own individuality. All they want is to feed off of the corruption of our attachments, the ambrosia of evil. This is their belief, that is their attachment, and so they wish to use us as cattle, whose udders they suck, nibble, and clamor for. Who is more addicted, the attacher or the attachment? Attachment doesn't always come from domestication, but domestication left unchecked always leads to attachments. Don Miguel. When you become attached to an object, idea, or belief, you make it a part of who you think you are. then once the fog has you, your vision is obscured. You will no longer see the humanity of an individual who doesn't agree with you, as you can only see the personification of an idea that you stand against. Don Miguel. I feel that this quote is more prevalent now than ever, especially when you have the changing of the guard in the administration that will be running the United States of America. We are currently living in an age where ideology is the individual. And with such a lifestyle comes very, very toxic waters, very poisonous fumes. As we see such ideology lead to policy changes that affect the very safety of our humanity. That distorts and destroys the moral lines that we have drawn to protect the individual, but also to protect men and women. But these attachments of ideology, where people have replaced their own individual self for these attachments, they become domesticated to an idea of a false reality. So much so that we have terms for them. Trump derangement syndrome, to name one for you. We have many mass psychosis implementations into people's psyche that have shaped the very fabric of what it means to be human, to what it means to be a man or a woman. It's coming to the point now where people are finding themselves in relation to more with animals than with their common man. Such attachments are caused by a domestication of abuse. Abuse in the meaning of lack of love, lack of nurture, lack of a proper education, lack of a healthy household, the lack of a father being present in the household, the industrialization of the family unit. We find many people nowadays seeking attachments in the very areas that will cause them great pain and suffering. Stripping themselves of their body parts, stripping themselves of their own train of thoughts. These attachments have led to more division, more racism, and more hatred. The irony of the push of such domestication to unify the common man has done irreparable damage to the possibility of a unification. Because on either side, whether you're on the left or the right, the woke left, the woke right, you're losing your individuality, shedding your security of your identity for the hopes and protections of ideology. and you allow yourself to become domesticated by those ideologies in the hopes that the attachment to said ideologies will grant you special privileges, will grant you better living conditions, will grant you the ability to speak your mind. But the consequences are that you lose yourself in the fog of such domestication. You lose the ability to see people as individuals and only see them for what their ideology determines, whether they are the enemy or friend. We don't look at people based upon their individual belief systems, the way they carry themselves, the way they conduct themselves in public with family and friends. We now are determining the efficacy of a person, the morality of a person, based on their political belief systems or their social belief systems. It's become so blurred that you have communities out there that are normalizing the very immoral depravities that we have created laws to protect our society from. And then the other side, you have them advocating for the destruction and the eradication of very protections that granted people the ability to speak their minds and to have the chance at opportunities that were denied to them based upon their color of their skin and their religious belief. The upside down inverted world that we live in. Stranger things, they would call it. I just say it's par for the course. But how long will people be able to live without their individuality? You're seeing the cracks now. You're seeing the civil wars within the woke right, within the woke left. They're eating each other. And all of us normies are just trying to pay our bills and find communities that unify together under common goals and creeds that celebrate the individual, but maintain a cohesive community. But that seems to be a dying breed. And more often than not, when those type of communities are created, they're infiltrated immediately to dismantle them. The last thing they would want is for us to be unified together under common goals and creeds and morals, and do away with our attachments and domestication to the very ideals that have separated us from achieving such common ground. It's dangerous when we allow our attachments to domesticate us to a belief system, to a lifestyle that goes against our very fabric of being and allows others to take control of our future and steer it in a direction that harms our very core, but feeds their very essence. We must not allow such hunger to destroy our very being. But unfortunately, many people, they relish, they are turned on by such abuse. The Stockholm syndrome of our domestication of this world that we live in now, it's impressive. But I hope that we all will be able to see through the smoke, free ourselves from the drama of this party, and embrace the true self and reject this false reality that attachments and domestication of exploitation has brought upon us. The evolution from domestication to attachment as followed. Domestication. You are domesticated to an idea through interaction with others in the dream of the planet. Self-domestication. Once this idea is lodged inside you and accepted, it becomes a belief. You no longer need an outside domesticate, or to enforce this idea, you will do it yourself. This is self-domestication in action. Attachment. You are now attached to this belief, and depending on how strong your attachment is, your acceptance of yourself and others is contingent upon fulfillment of the belief. You become attached to the idea that you didn't even agree with initially, but only adopted because of domestication. The end result is that without awareness, you will adhere to the ideas that aren't even true for you, as well as push them on others. Domestication and attachment work hand in hand to keep you separated from your authentic self, lost in the fog and smoke, trapped in the drama of the party. Don Miguel. To those of us who still salivate to the domestication that has brought pain, frustration, and a lack of self, here are a few words of reflection. The music is loud and bumping. The strobe lights cascade through the luminous colors, bright and fluorescent. The fog exudes mysticism, and the smoke dulls the senses. How sinister the machinations of domestication and attachment. The party is lit, yet nobody's there. For all I see are empty vessels and a false selves. A room full of 1,000 clowns. As their makeup streaks down their faces, what is revealed? The revelation is the implications of their attachments. The lifestyle that they live that leads them into the hive mentality of cultural appropriation to hide the insecurities and shames of their heritage. The lifestyle they live to drown themselves in vices and highs, to numb the pain of their failures, lack of motivation, and accountability of one's choices, actions, and words. This creates the ripples, backlash, and waves that recedes as their makeup of deceit dirties the floors. A slip and slide of lies and dirty dreams. The lifestyle that finds them seeking the truth of their individuality within the confines of ideology, unable to distinguish imagination from reality, leading them down a path of loneliness, self-inflicting injuries, violence, and inhumane rhetoric and behavior. They are attached to the false reality to feel some community and identity. Such attachments fuel and give rise to a burning fire of delusion. Delusion consumed by fear, fear consumed by propaganda, propaganda programmed by false realities, utilized to neuter our ability to perceive reality through eyes unclouded by domestication. All of which has been programmed and designed by corporate, military, pharmaceutical, industrial, technocratic oligarchs, whose aim is to destroy our connection to the source, God, the Almighty, our true selves. The moment you become aware of an attachment is the moment it begins to lose its hold over you. Identifying attachments and imagining their collapse gives you the opportunity to see the authentic self free from any attachment, as ultimately the truth of who you are is much greater than any item, role, or belief. Don Miguel. I hope you enjoyed this episode of the Monday Mindset. If you've made it this far, please make sure to hit that like button, subscribe, and ring that notification bell. And leave a comment with your thoughts below. And until next time, stay positive, stay focused, stay true, and much love. Hello there, I'm Kios Ronin Beatmaker, and welcome to Ronin Art and Music, home to Ronin Music, Lounge Ronin, all things, everything, the Monday Mindset rants, and Ronin reviews. We strive to make holistic and authentic content that aims to improve your individuality, mental fortitude, and peace of mind. If you're new to the channel, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe, and ring that notification bell. Stay positive, stay focused, stay true, and much love. Now, back to the show.